show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Let's go. Peace and blessings. Welcome to another Master in Our Business Brainstorming session where we come together and share insights, strategies, and just information when it comes to, building a business, expanding the business, scaling the business. This is the business hub, man. So welcome, man. Make sure you guys share, like, comment. Make sure you guys share this live with a fellow entrepreneur. And make sure you guys definitely blow up that chat for those who's already tapped in with this. Introduce yourself, put your websites, your social medias, and your company name in the chat, man. Definitely let me see some fire emojis in the chat too, man. I'm feeling good today. I'm feeling good every Wednesday, man. Every Wednesday we have a great discussion when it comes to business and really just mindset. When it comes to being an entrepreneur, it's a lot going on in this climate. So I just don't want you guys to hear from me. I want you guys to be able to hear from different perspectives. So as always, we have some special guests on this evening. Well, before we get into bringing them on the stage, make sure you guys blow up that chat, post your websites, post your social medias, and follow somebody else's social media. That's what it's all about. I want you guys to, I want to make sure you guys are connecting with other fellow entrepreneurs, other like-minded individuals, and vice versa. That's what it's all about, man. Us moving as a unit, us moving as a team, us moving as a community. So I really want to make sure that you guys are getting all of the substance that you guys can get, all of, and really connect with all of the resources that you guys can connect with when it comes to our community. So we're always putting out different resources like our brainstorming sessions, like our standing on business webinars. And then we have a few other events and activities that's coming up this year that I'm excited about. It's almost springtime, man. We halfway through the first quarter. I'm excited about that. Thank the man above that we even just made it to the first quarter, man, 2025, man. So, a lot of people didn't make it, we still here. So that's something to, really, be grateful about. You got to count your wins. That's what this is all about, counting your wins and, staying in the game, especially when it's, when you're an entrepreneur, it's super hard to stay positive. It's a lot going on, as you all can know. But hey, we still pushing, man. So make sure you guys definitely check out our website, www.masteringourbusiness.com. Check out some of the key features, that you guys can actually receive by becoming a member of the mob. We got a lot of great key features as far as video, audio production services, social media management and marketing services, web design, graphic design. If you are into curating events and activities, we can help you with some hubs, get some rental hubs, or just help you put it all together for the most part. If you got virtual classes or anything like that, we can definitely help moderate and manage it. But yeah, we got a bunch of key features on there, so definitely check out our website at www.masteringourbusiness.com for sure. And again, man, make sure you guys check out my TV as well, man. We got a lot of great content, a lot of recaps from our previous brainstorming sessions, exclusive interviews, event recaps, a little bit of everything. So make sure you guys tune in, subscribe to Mob TV. We just wanted to switch it up, man. And, it's so much BS content out here, so we wanted to make sure that we're giving you guys quality content at the end of the day. Speaking of quality, make sure you guys also check out our virtual marketplace. We got a bunch of great merchandise on there, from shirts, hoodies, t-shirts, hats. Even we got clothes for infants on there. We got our M.O.B Baby merch on there as well. So make sure you guys check that out as well. Go grab you some merch. And if you have merchandise or any products or service that you actually want to sell on our marketplace as well, make sure you guys get with us. That's what it's all about. That's what we really built our marketplace for, to help you guys, sell your products as well. Again, make sure you guys check out our homepage on our website as well. We do have a resource center on there where we have our entrepreneur Unleashed ebook on there. We got some grants on there, so I know everybody can use some extra funding. So make sure you guys check out and apply yourself, man. You're not gonna get it if you don't apply yourself. Shout out to Skip, man. They've been doing some great things. They pretty much gave over $1 million to different businesses all over the world. So make sure you guys tap in with Skip and apply for those grants, man. They actually give out. They actually host a live stream every Tuesday and Friday, giving out grants as well. So make sure you guys set up your profile, apply for those grants, man, and tap into their lives, man. Hey, it's free money. Everybody can use a little extra hand, when it comes to finances, when it comes to capital, especially if you're building a business. So make sure you guys head over there and set up your profile. Shout out to Mr. Fix It, man. We had another great standing on business webinar. Definitely check out our standing on business landing page at www.masteringOurbusiness.com/SOB. Make sure you guys register for the next one. We actually host our standing on business webinars every first Thursday of the month. And man, shout out to Mr. Fix It, man. He's always dropping some jewels when it comes to finances, when it comes to financial literacy. That's my guy. We've been rocking him out for probably about a half a decade now. So he's good people. So I definitely want you guys to, have access to him, and make sure you guys set up those calls. Make sure you guys he do free consultation, you guys. So make sure you guys take advantage of that while it's still free. Also, make sure you guys stay on the lookout for our STEM workshops. We're switching it up this year, man. This is something that we've been talking about for a minute. We've been, really diving deep in, bringing in different partners. And this is something that we want to bring to the community because there's not a lot of STEM initiatives out there. So, and at the end of the day, the whole, community revolves around STEM. So this is something that I'm actually super excited about. That's going to be coming to a city near you and a country near you as well. We're working on, organizing a few workshops outside the country as well. So, we're definitely looking for more partners, more volunteers, more investors, more sponsors, more vendors, and anybody that want to participate. If you have us any suggestions as far as any cities or countries that you think we should bring it to, definitely reach out. This is something that's going to be great for the community. Again, STEM is super important when it comes to just the basic infrastructure of our community. So this is something that I'm super excited about. If you've been to any of our workshops, they're usually based around content creation, which we're still going to have some content creation segments within this workshop, but we're gonna switch it up a little bit. It will be for all ages as well. So this will be something that you can bring your kids, any of your loved ones, any community leaders. We definitely want you guys to be a part of this as well. And yeah, I'm super excited, man. Also, make sure you guys check out our sponsored affiliates on our homepage of our website as well, man. And shout out to all of our affiliates. We've been doing some wonderful things. We was actually just in Atlanta with one of our affiliates, Irene Bell. Shout out to him. We got some great content that we're gonna be releasing soon. Make sure you guys follow the Power Up brand and everything that he's doing. We actually got another one of our sponsored affiliates and another one of our members on tonight. So I can't wait to dive in with Philosophy LLC, man. We're gonna be dropping some gems. Make sure you guys check out everything that she got going on. We've been doing her Monday Mantra Lives. I'm gonna let her get into a little bit of that when we bring her on. But definitely check out some of our sponsored affiliates. And if you want to become a sponsored affiliate, definitely check out our website at www.masteringOurbusiness.com/affiliates. That'll give you some more information on how you can actually earn more revenue and just become a part of the community for the most part. And that's what it's all about. Bringing other people into the community and not just making money, but actually providing resources for somebody else that may need them. So I think that's the best part about our affiliate program. And that's the best part about our affiliates because they actually want to, do for others and bring other people and put other people on. to the resources that we have. So it's super important, man. So and again, man, make sure you guys check out our mob raffle. Definitely make sure you guys enter in. It's only $10 to enter, and hey, you get a chance to get a free membership and some free resources. So you can't beat that, especially when it comes to building your structure. I know a lot of these resources when it comes to maintaining and building a business can get a bit expensive, especially when it comes to creating content and marketing and advertisement. I know businesses that put thousands of dollars into their company. So this is something that we really want to. I know some of you guys, especially for the startups. You may just be starting off. You may not have a lot of capital. So we want to make sure we give you guys every chance to become a part of the community. Even if you don't have a lot of capital, we want to make sure that you still have a chance to get these resources. So make sure you guys check out our and make sure you guys enter our mob raffle. We will be announcing the winner every last Wednesday of the month, so you still got another week to enter in. So yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm excited again. If you already tapped in, man, let me see some fire emojis. Let me get some energy, man. Let's see some. Let me get some positive energy real quick. Let me see some fire emojis in the chat. And again, man, make sure you guys blow up that chat with your websites, post your social medias, and follow somebody else's social media as well. After the live, we got our special guest coming up. Shortly. Again, I just want to thank you guys for the feedback as well. We've been doing a lot of great things when it comes to our brainstorming sessions. I've been hearing a lot of feedback. I know a lot of you guys been getting a lot of great information. We've been dropping a lot of gems, from just different industries as well. And I think that's the best part about our brainstorming sessions. We get to hear from people in different industries, different parts of the world. People from different races, different backgrounds. I think that's super important to be able to get that feedback and get those insights from different perspectives. And what excites me the most, it all revolves back into one. It all comes back into the things that we already been talking about. Even from last year, we came a long way from doing our brainstorming sessions in a warehouse to now on an international platform. So I think that's super important. I think that's the best value that even I get. I learn a lot. I get to learn a lot of things from you guys as well, and I think that's the best thing about it. So I don't want to hold you guys up too much longer. I want to bring on our first special guest, Miss Fee. What's going on, Fee? What's going on?
What's going on, tribe? Hey, everybody. How y'all doing out there?
Bless. So real quick, man, um, give the people an introduction on who is Fee. What is Philosophy LLC? I know a lot of people was wondering. For those who under a rock, just give them a quick, background check on who is Fee and what is Philosophy LLC.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, everyone. It is the one and only Goddess Fee with Philosophy LLC. I am a skincare and wellness of healing facilitator, along with I also do glamping in the summertime when it's a bit warmer, and other events around Georgia and also out of state with the tribes from expos to just all over, honestly, and just spreading love and healing, making sure you guys are getting top shelf luxury products on top of clean, sustainable ingredients and everything clean with Mother Earth. So I guess you could consider me to be a bit of a goddess and a tree hugger kind of blended in together, like a little shaman lady hanging out type thing. So
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So, real quick, what really got you into the world of entrepreneurship? What was that? Take us back to that moment that you really was just like, look, I'm about to work for myself. I'm about to create my own platform.
believe it or not, I was actually working for corporate. I was a regional director at a prestigious school where I had basically worked my way up and up the ladder in corporate America. And it got to the point where COVID happened. I was 5 months pregnant. They were promising job security and all this stuff. And let's just say job security went right out the window. So, with that being said, I was left with one of two options. I could either go back into the work field and work for corporate again, or I could, do my business full time, which I had been doing in the background for a couple years at that time, and just take it for, full time. So I made a personal decision to not allow another company to put me in that type of predicament, especially because when you're 5 months pregnant, you're not thinking like, oh, I'm going to have to run around and do this or do that when you're dealing with these types of situations. So I wanted to basically give myself my own job security instead of leaving that into the hands of someone else. That's truly kind of where it started as far as the journey of me doing that. As far as philosophy itself, I started the business 2 years prior to COVID happening. And I was doing it in the background, just kind of like, here and there. And it actually kind of started with me. I was going through a really bad breakup and I didn't want to necessarily take that energy and just waste it. So I decided to create something. I was looking for an oatmeal soap. I knew that I couldn't find it. I wanted something that was hydrating. I wanted something that was clean. And I wanted something that didn't leave like residue and stuff on my skin. I just wanted to feel better. You know what I mean? And also having all of those clean ingredients. So because I've tried Whole Food, and no shade to any of these places, but some of the bigger brands and chains we've tried to where, they have these products, but they're really not giving. And I need it to be giving because if it's not delicious, I don't want it. That's my motto. So
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So it's month two. It's February. We usually touch on market research. So I wanted to kind of touch on that. What's one way that you really tackle your market research? How did you really get out there and research the market and see what was out there? As far as your competitors and people in the same industry.
to be quite honest with you, I wasn't necessarily looking at competitors. I just knew that I wanted to start and I started. And then it kind of just went from there. I've been in business over 6 years. And in these 6 years I've been in business, I've had zero returns, which means that, people love their products. They love when they have quality products. And not only that, to be clear, it's kind of like in that journey of learning along the way a lot of these steps too. And then of course, working with the mob who basically makes my life so much easier and so much seamless in the things of the day to day. I feel like that's when I really started to kind of tackle in and dig in into like a particular market, if you will. I think Delano and I actually had this conversation where he was saying, who's your target audience? Do you know your target audience? Everybody. I mean, you can get everybody naked. Everybody got to wash their butt. So, it just kind of went from that to, breaking down the fundamentals of no, actually, this is your demographic of clientele. These are their age groups. This is what, the times that they're normally there. So having a bigger insight on the types of tribe that are actually attracted to what I'm doing was really, really helpful. And shout out to the mob for that, because without them, I probably would have still been spinning my wheels on a couple of those subjects.
Yeah, I think it's super hard. I think that's something that most people, most of the conversations that I have, with different brands, I think that's something that a lot of people have trouble with. Really pinpointing who is their target audience.
Mhm.
And how can I reach them? And I think that's the important part about identifying who your target audience is. So you don't really be running like a chicken with your head cut off, trying to do every single thing far as like advertising and you can really kind of narrow it down, especially if you don't have a huge, if you don't got a lot of capital. You really want to be strategic on what platforms you utilize and what strategies you utilize as well. So I think that's something that we really honed in on, especially when it came to your business plan, and us creating your business plan. I think that was something that really helped us, for the most part, to really figure out, okay, what strategy should we do? What platform should we focus on right now, and how can we, be as strategic as possible, pushing the brand. So I think that's something that, and that was it was a great conversation to have, because most people, that get into the business, that's how they feel. They feel like, hey, everybody, I want everybody, but and that's fine. You get what I'm saying? But like I said, you really want to narrow it down, especially when you don't have millions of dollars to throw into advertising campaigns and kind of do everything. But I think that's something that really helped us all, and that's something that helped us as well. Really narrowing down because it was something that we did when we was pushing Exclusive Models magazine. We was building that platform. At first we was kind of trying to target a little bit of everybody, but once we honed in on who our target was and who our audience was and who we were speaking to, it made a lot of things easier, especially when we started going on the road and going on tours and really being selective about what events and activities you wanted to be a part of. Especially relocating to Atlanta where it's an event activity almost every day. You don't want to wear yourself thin, so I think that's super important. Speaking of that, we definitely gave out. This is really one of the main reasons why we gave out last week's assignment, and I'm gonna go over that later. But speaking of business plans, what was a key element in your business plan that really made you stick out? When it comes to your competition, or when it comes to other brands, and not your competition as you competing, because you in your own lane. But what really sets you apart from other skincare brands and holistic wellness companies?
For me, sorry about that. I got an autumn sky in the background. For me, it's more so about the sustainability aspect of things. Being that I am an eco-sustainable brand, one, and that I am also farm to table formulations, that's a huge thing because it takes away parabens and things like that. It takes away like the gunk that's in skincare that's what's junking and messing up your skin. It takes that out of the equation. So not only am I aiming for eco sustainability, but I'm also aiming for clean sustainability. Is it being ethically sourced? Is it coming from an ethically sourced location? You know what I mean? So all of these different components, and also, working with different environmentally conscious people in the industry of skincare and just beauty and wellness, you learn so much. You learn so much. So I think that the biggest thing would have to be continuing to stay and stick to my roots of being eco sustainable, being clean, and not BSing people on their skincare. What you're purchasing is what you're getting. It's going to make a huge difference. You're going to feel a difference when you use the products. And I believe truly that's why I've had zero returns in over 6 years, is because people really truly do see the difference between, like, no shade to Dove, but a Dove bar versus Philosophy bar. You know what I mean?
Pop it, let's
That's
go, pop it.
like, nobody's out here giving y'all jade bars that's bringing y'all hundreds of thousands of dollars and everything else under the sun either. So there's
Hey,
a whole lot of just me and my spirit that I pour into what I do. And I think it's such a blessing to have each and every one of you out there that support me the way that you do. I'm just so thankful. So
definitely. So one more question, because I know it's a lot that goes into really just having something that goes on people's skin. What's one legal or ethical dilemma you've had encountered in your business journey, and how did you overcome and learn from that?
legal or ethical? Mine would have to be when I was working with the eco sustainable company. It was called TESS, which stood for the Environmental Solution Store. I was working with this particular group where, they were explaining all these things about what's out in the world, as far as like what a paraben is, what's considered to be waste, what's recyclable, what's not recyclable. So with honing in and getting a lot of that information during that time, it helped me to actually see and scope in on, okay, this is a huge issue. This is a huge issue with not only the from the standpoint of waste and recycling, but also on the standpoint of the consumers. Because when someone purchases something, they're not thinking, oh, it's got so many components. They're just wanting what's inside of the container. They don't really care. So with having the mindset and the mentality that, what, we can do better as a whole. I can offer a recyclable and renew program for those of you that are also wanting to join in and help me assist me with recycling. That would probably be the biggest aspect of it, is a recycling aspect, because it's such a huge issue that is ongoing every single day. And not to mention, On the legal side of things, like, you always want to make sure that you're keeping your registrations up to date. You want to make sure that, your LLCs, or if you have a trust or what have you, that you have the businesses inside of, you want to make sure that those are always working and up to date, because God forbid something be late or tardy or what have you. And now, like, you're doing business illegally. So you want to always make sure that you're up to date on all of your documentation, you're up to date on all your business. My biggest one for me personally is taxes. So me and Mr. Fix It, we have a conversation well overdue on a couple things also. But yeah, just I think for me, those are a couple of the biggest things. And, you know, having people be mindful that it is a conscious effort to do better. It is a conscious effort to want to assist and, make a change. And it literally just starts with the mindset and the action behind it. It's that simple.
Ma'am, yes, ma'am, man. Real quick, man. First of all, I just want to thank you for just taking out time. I know you got a lot of orders to fill. You know, you about to get in that lab. You got Autumn Sky. Shout out to Autumn Sky, by the way. That's my homie. But real quick, let them know where they can find you, and what you have coming up next.
Absolutely. So you guys can find me on a few different places. You can find me on IG. I have two IGs. I have a personal IG that's forever underscore fee. It's FII, two eyes. Can see you. And then I have Philosophy LLC. That's FIILOSOPHY LLC.com. We do also have the philosophy.com website that is still active currently, but currently we're going to be merging everything over to the new site. So Delana will be tapping in with that as well for this week. And definitely check out my Snapchat if you guys are trying to see what I got going on behind the scenes. Everything happens on my Snap. So it's Diary of a Mixed Chick, Philosophy. If you guys are looking for me, that's how you find me. Absolutely. So shout out to the mob for always being on time and in the right place at the right moment. Shout out to you guys for always.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I appreciate you. Shout out Philosophy LLC, man. Stick around real quick if you can, Fee. Just in case if you have any questions or concerns. If you're still rocking with us in the live, man, make sure you guys post any questions that you have for Fee, or just any general questions in general that you have, based around business and entrepreneurship. Next, I want to bring on another very special guest. We had a great conversation, man, all the way from the West Coast, Miss Jamie. I want to bring her on next. What's going on? What's going on, Queen?
How you doing? What's the weather like over there right now?
Man, cold. Well, I'm actually in St. Louis right now. I just touched. But I was in. It was even cold when I was in Atlanta last week, though. To be honest, it was cold and rainy last week in Atlanta. But we in St. Louis. It's like a little weather advisory. Snow everywhere, man. But I don't even want to know what the weather looking like over there. I know it's beautiful sunshine.
It's not sunny, it's overcast, but it's probably warmer here than it is there.
Definitely, definitely, definitely. So, real quick, man, for those who wonder, all right, give us a quick introduction on who Jamie is and what do you do?
Yeah, so my name is Jamie, and I have a business called Beyond Words Productions. I'm a videographer and a storyteller, and I do heartfelt and emotive storytelling for businesses and nonprofits to build clients, build brand loyalty, and all the things that come with helping you thrive as a business through telling your stories.
I love it. I love it, man. And this is something that's super close to me because my background is digital media and production. So I definitely understand the importance in, telling your story, getting your story out there, utilizing content creation, utilizing, video and photos to really, put your story out there. And it's something that I've been preaching for years. People don't buy into the product. They buy into you. They buy into your story. They buy into what type of person you is. And you got to be vulnerable enough to show that for sure. So, what really made you get into that industry, and what made you get into the entrepreneur climate?
Okay, so two different questions. One, I got into what I'm doing now because I was a TV news reporter for 6 years. So I grew up in California, went to school in LA, got my first job on air at an ABC station in Iowa. So I was there for 2 years. And then I went to Wisconsin, where I worked at the CBS station in Madison, which is the capital. So to the rest of the world, you know me as a reporter, but in the news world, I was what's called an MMJ, meaning a multimedia journalist. And that means that I did everything from start to finish, from finding the story ideas to setting up interviews, filming, editing, going on camera, and then writing up those story for the website at the end of the day, all on deadline every day. So I was doing the storytelling, I was doing the camera work and being on camera. So it was really like, it formed me into a one-man band, which is great because that's what I'm doing now as a solopreneur. I'm doing everything from start to finish. So that's what got me like into the storytelling like specialty of what I'm doing now. But actually, I never planned on being an entrepreneur. Actually, the story that got me here was pretty messed up. What what happened? So I left my news job in September of 21, and then I actually was working for somebody else. There was this startup that they're headquartered in North Carolina, but they have like startup branches all over the country. So I was trying to help them start up their branch in Madison, and it's basically like this organization that sends out email newsletters. This was like just post COVID. So there's still a lot of businesses and restaurants that are needing the help. So the organization sends out email newsletters letting people know of all the businesses and restaurants that you can go support, as well as family fun events that you can go to. So think of it as like a community blog that was just helping promote local businesses. And that's what I was curating, was that email every day. The news station that I worked for reached the attorney reached out to me a couple days after into me working here and threatened that if I didn't leave my job, they were going to sue me because I left in the middle of my contract, meaning they still had rights to everything that I was doing. So unfortunately, a lot of news stations threaten people that leave with this, but nothing ever really happens. It's just kind of a way for them to flex their muscle. So I ignored the email. And then they emailed me a week later, harassing me, being really mean in this email. And so I was like, okay, so they're serious. So I took it to the CEO of the company that I was working for. And he was like, let me talk to them. Let me explain to them, like, we are not in competition with them. We are not trying to steal anything from them. Like once I explain to them what we do, you'll be good. And I was like, cool. Anyways, fast forward to a month of me working there. I get on a call with the CEO, and they basically told me that the news station was extremely hostile to him, and then threatened that if they didn't fire me, they were going to come after both of us, even after explaining to them what they do, even after offering them actually an exclusive partnership. They offered them free advertising, like all the things that a true competitor would not do. And they offered all this to them and said that they didn't care. So I got fired that day and I lost like everything. So I was really contemplating, like, I feel like no matter where I try to get a job in this city, they're going to find me and they're going to try to do this again. So I was really scared to find employment anywhere else. And so then I just started a business in secret, doing this on the side. And then I got a part-time job also in secret, working for a nonprofit, putting stories together for them. So I had this part-time job while I was building the business, both under the radar. And so I had to do that for about a year until I was like legally free of the news station. And then started my business after that. And I've been almost 4 years going now.
Man, that's crazy. Business can be cutthroat, man. People would be thinking that the streets is cutthroat. Business is probably more cutthroat than the streets, man, because that's super crazy. But it's always a blessing in disguise, when it comes to stuff like that. Because now, you're doing these amazing things, and you're working for yourself. I think that was another thing with COVID. A lot of people went through a lot of crazy things through COVID and was forced out of their industries into another industry, and now they're living their best life. So everything happened for a reason, but that's cutthroat, man. It can be super cutthroat for sure. So real quick, I wanted to talk about what sets you apart from other media companies out there. What would you say really set you apart, within your business plan and within your business structure? What really set you apart from other media companies out there?
I think there's several things that sets me apart. One, I think my background in TV news reporting, a lot of the skills that I learned there very much helped me with what I'm doing now, because lots of people can go out and buy a camera and press record, right? And lots of people nowadays are branding themselves as storytellers. But I don't think people understand the true difference between a promo video and a video that tells a story,
Yeah,
not a promo video, a story.
definitely.
And so I think because I have a background in storytelling from news, I think that sets me apart. I also find that in the videography world, there are a lot of men that are running these businesses and running these companies. And I think just being a female of color as a solopreneur videographer is different. I also am a licensed drone pilot, which is also not very common for women or women of color. So I think that sets me apart. But I think the most critical thing that sets me apart is the ability of my interview skills. I
Mhm.
think that you can have the most expensive camera in the world shooting beautiful footage, but unless you know how to interview somebody and pull out that sound from them and make them feel comfortable on camera and really get the emotional sound bites that you need to make that video compelling, the other stuff simply doesn't matter. And I think because I am such an emotive person, I am able to bring that out in ways that I have not seen anybody else been able to do that in an interview. So I think having a good interviewer is the main difference in what sets a video company apart. It's not the ability to press record, it's not what kind of camera you have, it's you.
Pop it. Thank you. Thank you. Because, I mean, from somebody that has a digital media and production background myself, that was something that we really dived into. And, I was one of those people that just dived into it at first, and went out, bought the cameras, equipment, and all different types of things. But once I went to school for it, it really set me apart and really just changed my mindset as well. Because there's so many different elements that comes with telling a story that people don't really see. They just like, and I think, especially in a market like Atlanta, where, it's a lot of different people that just, got some saved up some money and, got some camera equipment and now they call it themselves a media company or, a media specialist. It gets crazy because they don't, it is a difference. And you could tell once you see the actual content, but I think, that's something that the clients they don't really understand. And I think this
Mhm.
is something that I, for years been trying to get clients to understand and breaking that down to clients. It's a difference from just somebody that has a camera and just have the equipment and push record versus somebody that can actually tell a story. It's all about lighting, composition, and the story. So it's I think that's this I think that's the main part. I'm glad you touched on that for sure. Um, Speaking of equipment, we all know when it comes to digital media production, it can get expensive when it comes to these cameras and the lights
Mhm.
and everything like that. How did you go about securing funding for your business?
So, let me just give you a little insight about where I was at when I started. I had $2,000 to my name total. So, people think that when you are on TV that you make a lot of money, and I'm just here to tell you that's not true. Once you get to the national level and you're a national correspondent, sure, they're making good money, but people at the local level, no. My first job on air, I made $22,000 a year. I couldn't even afford an apartment for $750 a month. Like I had to get a cosigner because they wouldn't accept my salary.
Man,
By the time I left news, I had to beg for this amount, by the way. I was at 42,000. That's after 6 years of experience. And that's to most other industries that's entry level pay,
yeah,
right? But for news, that's what I was making. And I like to be transparent with that to show people where I was at financially and why I only had $2,000 total saved. Um, so thankfully I did a lot of research and I found websites online because I have probably like 40 to $50,000 worth of gear now. But when I just started out with one camera, and even that was like 6 to 7 grand, right? That's 6 to 7 grand that I don't have. But the website that I found actually allowed payment plans. So you didn't have to put anything down, and you just, as long as you completed the payments within 12 months. And I'm like, okay, well, I have to have a camera for what I'm doing. I have to have a laptop. So I bought these two very basic things through this site. And I was like, if I can just get the clients and I can make at least however much I was paying per month, like $800 a month. I was like, as long as I can get one job a month that pays at least that much, I can pay off this equipment. And so that's what I did. So I didn't go through any investors or funding, but I just networked my tail off so that I could make those payments. And then I did. And then obviously it grew and reinvested some money back into the business so I could get more gear and more tools to be able to do what I'm doing now.
I love it. I love it. You lace them boots. That's what we like to call bootstrapping. And I think, most, small business owners, that's how we all start off. We start off lacing our boots, figuring out different ways to, make that money and, make it, and reinvest it. And I think a lot of people, especially, the climate now, all these gurus, they talk, you see a lot of gurus talk about credit and stuff like that. I was an entrepreneur when we wasn't talking about that. We had to lace some boots. A lot of people don't have good credit to be able to, even go get a loan or go get, certain credit lines. I was one of those people that have really had to lace my boots as well. So I definitely respect anybody that's still bootstrapping, and had to really, get it out the mud. I don't downplay anybody that, got investors or went and got loans. I think that's super great because it's a lot to keep your credit together as well. And that's something that we talk about on our Standing on Business webinars with Mr. Fix It. And I think it's super important for us to understand how to utilize, and use that debt to build something great. And I think you get to a point where you got to, if you can, use all of the above. But for most people's not around people that's willing to invest into their business. Like people like the Waltons and stuff like that. Who what's the odds of you have being around people that's well off enough to be able to invest in what you have going on. And most investors they looking for something that's low risk as well. So I think anything when it comes to most of the companies that we build is pretty high risk. So I think it's super special to be able to have enough discipline enough to bootstrap, lace and lace them laces, and to reinvest in your company. I think you really have to believe in yourself to really, be able to take that hard because it's hard being an entrepreneur, man. I think a lot of people, especially nowadays, the climate they make it look so easy. And it's not easy, y'all. Like I'm not, I want to be very transparent. I know everybody is on the entrepreneur way. I was an entrepreneur when people was looking at me stupid. It was looking like, hey, go get a job, and it's getting harder and harder, because there's so many businesses that arose through the pandemic, and I love it. I love that a lot of people really stepped outside their comfort zone and built a company, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing now. But it's super hard. You need a village, you need a community around you, and you need that knowledge. I think it's the big three. I always like to talk about the big three, which is capital, you know, information, and having a team. Because I think that's something that as a consultant I see most business owners have the most problems with, for the most part. So I really want to talk about budgeting. I know that was a huge element, especially bootstrapping and really making sure that you had what you need. How did you go about budgeting when it came to your company?
That's still a learning process, especially like the more money you make and the more revenue you have to figure out, like I think saving for taxes was probably the biggest learning curve that I had, because when you're a W-2 employee, you have money withheld and you don't even see it. You don't even think about it, right? Like you just never see it. It goes to where it's supposed to go, and it's mindless for an employee. But as an entrepreneur where you're making your own money and those taxes are not withheld, You have to look at your bank account, your business bank account, and be like, okay, how much of this is actually mine? How much of this do I pay myself with? How much am I doing like subcontracting work out? Like, you have to think about all of these things: insurance, taxes, gas. How much of that is actually your money? And I think that's what um, I still have to play with those numbers, right? Because my gross or net is different every year. Um, I don't it's not consistent. And I think that's one of the biggest challenges of being an entrepreneur is you will not have a consistent income where you know for sure you're going to meet this number this month, because you don't know that. So I think I have a million Excel sheets that I use for personal expenses, business expenses, and everything is broken down by category so that at any given moment I can tell you what my profit and loss is, what I'm spending each month, what I'm saving each month, what I need to save for taxes in 4 months. And the quarterly taxes also gets me as well as a business owner, because the first year, the feds will forgive you for not paying the quarterlies. But then after that, you have to like be on top of your game and continue to do that. So I think budgeting per quarter, per month is super critical. So I do Excel worksheets, and then my mom is actually my bookkeeper because she did accounting her whole life. So I'm like built-in family member employee for that. So she helps me a lot with that.
You lucked up, man. You lucked up for sure. I think
Yeah.
that's something that a lot of businesses have, especially small business have trouble with, man. Hey, them feds, they the biggest gangsters, man. They gonna come for you for sure, and we gotta stay on top of it. And I think it's super important to have those Excel sheets. I know a lot of my partners, talk about how it's easier to, pay your taxes quarterly, so it don't really pile up on you as much. I would definitely love for y'all to drop in that chat what you guys feel like is the best way to go about that. And man, dropping fire signs, man, if you're enjoying the brainstorming session so far as well. But hey, man, f them taxes, man. F them taxes, man. We can find a way around them taxes. Definitely do that. Definitely get you, somebody that know their way around them. It's a lot of write-offs that you could do, especially as a business owner. I think we have to really move smart. It's a lot of millionaires and billionaires that don't pay taxes at all. But I think it goes back to that information, just having that information. A lot of us don't know. A lot of us didn't come from a business background, or can be able to have certain people in our corner to let us know about certain tax write-offs and different things like that. Shout out to Master P, man. We did a conference a couple years ago at Revolt World, and it was super great for him to touch bases and tap on. He gave a lot of gems, and I actually posted a recap of that. So if you guys want to check that out on YouTube. But yeah, he dropped a lot of gems on how to get around taxes and how to write off certain things as business expenses. I think that's super important for us to know as business owners, because hey man, we busting our butt out here, man, just to hand it over to some gangsters for the most part. So I definitely think we need it. It revolves back to the information. So real quick, I want to talk about marketing. I think that's super big when it comes to building anything. What's one unconventional marketing strategy you've used to really set your business up and gain more clientele?
So I do a lot of different things to market myself. Now, my number one and probably most effective is going to networking events and marketing me. So that's number one. Number two is I host workshops where I invite people in the community, business owners, nonprofit leaders, whatever, to come and see what storytelling is all about. That helps with exposure, it helps with education, and it helps get their wheels turning about how they can implement this into their business. So it's putting yourself in front of people is a great way to market yourself. And I always tell people at these workshops that what you're doing is not unique. I don't care what industry you're in. You could be health and wellness, you could be realtor, you could be financial advisor, you could be a videographer. What you're doing is not unique. Who you are, who you're impacting, your stories, and why you do it is what's going to set you apart. It's what's going to allow other people to connect with you and see themselves in you. So I also do, because I am in the video space, like I have the capacity to do monthly video tips that I'll post out on social media once a month. And I do that for not only educational purposes and exposure purposes, but also the consistency of showing up constantly. So whenever somebody thinks about video or storytelling, I want you to think of me. And you
Yeah.
can do that in any business. So like Fee earlier, like she could definitely be posting videos about like, what do you know about health and wellness? Give me some tips, show me your products, and like all these things, or any business that you're in, be top of mind for people. Like, even if you think it's annoying, even if you think nobody's liking this or commenting this, people are still seeing it. You look at the analytics about how many people saw that post. It doesn't matter how many likes you got. It doesn't matter how many comments you got. I mean, it helps to get more, but it doesn't matter because people still see it. There's posts that nobody has commented on or nobody has liked that I've posted, but I'll get DMs about it. So I know people are seeing it. And I think that's like really critical. So
I think
that would be my.
this is what I mean about things coming in full circle, because this is exactly the same conversations that me and Fee have and some of our other members, and that's why we go through our analytics and go through the dashboards and go through impressions, and different things like that. Because sometimes when you don't see that, you thinking that you're not getting, you thinking people are not seeing it, but when you go into your analytics and you really break down the numbers, you see like, oh man, I actually had 3,000. This post actually reached 3,000 accounts this month, or we actually got 5,000 people that actually view it. They didn't like it, they didn't share it, but they seen it, and that you're on top of their mind. That's one of the reasons why we started the Monday mantras is in her live streams, which have been doing very well. To keep her on top of people's minds and get people kick off that mindset in the beginning of the week. And I think, everybody who has a brand, needs to do the same thing, kick off some live streams, host, workshops, like you said, stay on top of their mind, give some value, not just sell, sell, sell. It's not all about, yay, I got a promo deal, buy this, shop with me. Give them a reason to, show them who you are, show your personality, connect with people, talk with people. This is something that, I had to step outside my comfort zone as well to, host our brainstorming sessions, because I'm usually behind the scenes. I've been behind the scenes for, forever. So, this is something that we really had to step outside our comfort zone and give that value, because people need to hear not just from my mouth. They need to hear from people like you that's actually in the industry, that's actually active, that's actually out here and building something from the ground up. Because it just brings more value, and we bringing the real back. It's no more fake car, promo videos. What I mean, we bringing the real back. We storytelling in a different way, and showing these different insights. And that's what it's all about. So, real quick, I know you're an international company as well, and an international brand. You've been a little bit of everywhere. What is your most memorable customer interaction you've had, and how did it really form your business?
Oh my gosh. Honestly, the first video I ever did, and I made $0 off of this because I did it pro bono because I was just trying to get something in my portfolio to show people what a story is. So I did a video for a nonprofit. It is on my website. So I think it's like the first video that's on there, but there's a nonprofit called Geo's Garden, and they're a respite care center for children with special needs. This is based in Madison, Wisconsin. And we did a whole story about the difference that this organization made in one person's life. And their story was so impactful and so heartfelt that I cried during filming. I cried during editing. I cried when it played at their fundraising event. I knew it was going to happen, and it still brought me to tears. There was not a dry eye in the room. And that video brought in 125K in 4 hours for them. And I was like, and that to this day, like 4 years later, to this day, that story is still the most successful story I've ever told because of multiple reasons. One, they let me have full creative control over what I was doing with this because they weren't paying me and they knew that I knew how to tell a story. They're a nonprofit, so everyone's wearing so many different hats. They don't have time to dictate what I'm doing with this, and they trusted my creative ability. So that was really cool. But like, also, like, we got to see what an actual story looks like. And it was just, that was the skeleton model that I used at every workshop that I held. It was top story in my portfolio, and it still is. There are production value wise, like, there's a lot of things that I would have done differently, like now that I have the better equipment, right? There's lots of things that I could have upgraded about that. But my point is, Your equipment doesn't matter. The story is what mattered. And to this day, I have much better equipment. And to this day, that story is still the most impactful thing that I've ever done. I've done Zoom interview videos that are more impactful than some of the things that I've shot on my super expensive cameras. Like, it doesn't matter. You just need the story. So
Definitely.
that interaction and that story was like what shaped my business and how I try to like market that to people. Like, this is what a story is. This is what a story looks like. So yeah, that was definitely like key moment for me.
Man, it goes back to, the importance of storytelling. You really want to connect and figure out, how you can connect with people as a human being. Because, and like you said before, that's what make you unique. That's what everybody, what you're doing don't make you unique, because there's a million people out here doing, in the same industry as you. And that's why I always like to talk about competitors, especially with our clients and with our members, really, pinpointing and really paying attention. Because I know a lot of people are like, oh, I ain't competing. It's not about that. You really want to figure out who is doing what you're doing and how you can set yourself apart from them. And that's the main thing is storytelling. Being able to tell your story at the end of the day. So I think that's super important, for sure. Real quick, I want to talk about mindset. So this is something that we've really been touching on a lot, these last few weeks. How has your mindset evolved as a leader, and what practices do you incorporate to maintain a positive mindset?
I will say that I started my business with a very negative mindset, right? I started it out of a scarcity mindset. I started it with a struggling mindset. I started it like with the root of my why being a lot of the trauma that I had experienced as a child and as an adult. And when you are your own boss and you are relying solely on you for everything, it kicks into gear so many things, like accountability being the number one thing, right? Like, because especially when you're starting out, like, you don't have a team of people. I still don't have a team of people, and I actually prefer it that way. But like, the accountability thing is like, if something goes wrong, you ain't got nothing but your own two hands to look at, and you're the one that's going to fix it. But also, as you start to build success and you start to see success and your hard work pay off, confidence comes from doing. You don't just have confidence. Confidence comes from failing and getting back up and relying on you and knowing that in order to have the life that most people want but don't have, you have to be willing to do things that most people are not willing to do. And you have to go into it with gratitude. I say that you can't be great without being grateful. So you can't think about everything that you don't have, because you could talk until you're blue in the face about all the things that there are to complain about, all the negative things that are happening. But what can you do right now with what you have to take that next step to get where you need to go? Right. So that's what I really practice. I practice meditation every day, hot yoga. Like, I am embed an hour, at least an hour of personal time every day. Like, it is scheduled in my calendar. There's a time block on my calendar where nobody can schedule anything with me, because this is me time and I need this to reset. Like, business and driving up your business is super important, and trust me, you're going to be working 60, 80 hours a week to build this. You have to have time to like cool off and just to not think about this, so that you can show up in the way that you need to show up for you, because nobody is going to bring you through success other than you, and you need to be the version of you that your dreams are calling you to be. And I still don't feel like I am that version. I am definitely much closer to that version of me than I was when I started. But I asked myself today, like, who is the person that my dream life is calling me to be? And I am not there yet. I am not the version of me I need to be to walk through that door. And what can I do right now to make sure that I am in 1 to 3 years is like my goal that I'm setting for myself. So yeah, I'm all about positive mindset.
I love that. I love that. That's something that I've been getting more into lately as well. This is something that I always come across when, I've been consuming a lot of mindset books and different things like that, talking about mindset a lot, in our brainstorming sessions. And meditation has always been something that arose and kept coming up. And, to be honest, I haven't always been somebody that even believed in the power of meditation. I always thought it was really some bullshit, to be honest with you. But I think by me practicing it and just I got to the point where it's like, man, this it keeps coming up. Why don't I try it? Like, why not? Like, what's it gonna hurt? And when I tell you, ever since I've been practicing meditation, it's definitely been put me on a whole nother level. And I can definitely see the difference. Like even when I have my days, I still have my days when I skip meditation. I might not have time because I might get right up one to something, or somebody might wake me up. I might wake up and go right into a meeting. So I might end up having meetings all day where it's like I didn't even have time. But lately I have been doing more to make time for meditation, and I've definitely been seeing the difference. So, if you definitely, if especially if you own a business, if you're a business owner, definitely, I definitely would suggest that you practice meditation. Mindset is super important. Ever since I changed my mindset, because I used to, be all about, just making more money, just making more money. But now, our whole mission goal and, where I'm at, in my life is just a drastic turn, to where I'm in a whole nother mindset now. And I definitely see the difference. And ever since we've, gotten in this mindset where, we have been, you know, focused on helping others, I think that's really where, you know, it really changes everything where it's no longer about yourself. You get what I'm saying? It's all about figuring out how can you really put out positive energy in the community, where it's just so much negativity. You get what I'm saying? How can you be that light? And we've definitely been seeing the difference, and being able to be in a position to help others has definitely been helping. But I think mindset is probably the most important thing that you can have, other than capital, information. And so I should call that the big four. I should call that the big four. Instead of the big three, capital, information, and team, I should call it a big four, because capital, because I think number one is mindset. Before it get to, because it's been times where I've came across a lot of money and didn't do the right thing with it because I didn't have the right mindset. It's been times where I had an awesome team, but didn't have the right mindset to keep those relationships going. There's been times where I've had the information, but if you don't have the mindset, you're not going to utilize that information as well. So, and I see it every day with what we're doing. We you can lead the person to the water, but you can't make them drink. So I think that's a great way to put it. And I think you're doing some great things out here. I definitely want to thank you for just taking time to drop these jewels and get on our brainstorming session and build with us for sure. For those under the rock, man, let them know where they can actually find you and what you have coming up next.
Sure, I can put it in the comments too. But so the name of my business is Beyond Words Productions. So you just www.beyondwordsproductions.com. What do I have coming up next? So I'm in the rebuilding phase of my business right now because I built it in Wisconsin for 3 years and then I moved back to California. This is where I'm from, in August. So I've been here for 7 months now. And I haven't had an income in 7 months, which has been really hard to go from thriving business to zero. So I right now I'm just working on rebuilding. So I'm hoping to host more workshops in the future, both online and in person. But I'm active on like all the social channels. I'm constantly giving out video tips of the month. I've got a free newsletter that I send out once a month that has video tips, a featured video, story ideas for you and your organization, how to be seen, all this stuff. So I would just say that if you follow me on socials or go to my website, hit me up. I love talking about storytelling and how I can help businesses grow. So I will put my website in the comments. Thank you to Delano and the M.O.B team for hosting me and providing this platform for entrepreneurs to help people grow. I always say that you have to give in order to receive, and that giving has to happen first. So thank you to M.O.B for giving entrepreneurs this opportunity and the resources, because it's just going to come right back to you in that karmic debt.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you for everything that you've been doing, all the wonderful things that you've been doing. Stick around real quick. I just want to give you guys the next couple minutes to ask any questions or concerns. But real quick, man, drop them fire signs in the chat, man. If you got some jewels for the day, that's what it's all about, man. I want to make sure that we giving back, to the community. We doing something positive. We got enough negativity out here, man. We got to change the stigma, man. We got to change the narrative, especially when it comes to business. A lot of people like to say business, business and personal is separate. No, business is personal. You get what I'm saying? Because it's all about your lifestyle. It's all about passing down generational wealth. It's all about your mindset. If you're not in the right mindset, to take care of your family, how can you, be positive? How can you, be your best self? And it's all about being free, not having somebody over your back threatening you and, and making you feel insecure in yourself and in your lifestyle, man. It's all about just, doing what you love at the same time. We only get one life to live. So, we want to make sure that, you live in your best life and that you have the financial means to live your best life and pass that down to your family so they can live their best life and just be happy. That's what it's all about, being happy at the end of the day. And I think, we work so hard, to be happy, we kind of trick ourselves out of being happy. It's crazy. You get what I'm saying? When you really focusing on making money and, building something and all of the physical things that come with having money. I think it's super important, and we need community for the most part, man. So I think building this mob community has been the best thing I've ever done in my life. Beyond all the money that we've made, all the platforms that we've built, all the places that we've traveled, all the tours, all the great people that we've been working with. But building this community has been the greatest thing that I've ever accomplished in my life. Besides Delano Jr., the newest mob member, that's probably one of the best thing I've ever created in my life. And it's definitely put me and I think I'm in the best mindset. God has put me in the best mindset to bring him in my life. To be able to build something for him, and build a community for him to come into. And our village has been so strong, man. I want to thank you guys for just, being there. You get what I'm saying? Through, this whole journey, through the whole mob journey, through our whole, and just continue on. Like the journey just continues, the marathon continues, and it's super big, for me to have a village and to have a community like we have because it's been doing wonders, not just for you guys, and we're not just here for you, but you guys have been, doing some amazing things for us. This is why you guys are the reason why we do this, why we, stay consistent every single Wednesday, every first Thursday, and just every single day, So, I'm always on a conference call or a meeting or a consultation or, just trying to give the best of me to you guys, because hey, this is what it's all about: building our community, being each other accountability partners, because we all need it. It don't matter how much money you have, what background you come from, how successful you are. We all need accountability partners, and we all need a village, man. And this is what it's all about. We mobbing, man. So let me real quick, man, throw them fire signs in the chat, man. I appreciate you guys for joining in. I don't want to keep you guys up too much longer. If you guys have any questions or concerns, make sure you guys subscribe to our website or just drop them on our Instagram, DM me, text me, email us. It don't matter, man. I'm here for y'all 24/7. It don't matter what time of day it is. Reach out to me. If I don't reach back, or if I don't answer my phone or anything like that, you guys already know I do my best to reach back out to you guys. And man, I appreciate you guys, man. Real quick, I want to go back over. I want to leave you guys with the assignment. So this month, as you guys know, this is module 2, month 2. I really want you guys to focus on market research. So I really want you guys to build a customer profile, research and design a dossier on the ideal customer, including demographics, interests, pain points, and buying behaviors, right? And yeah, present it to us, man. Send us that in our DMs. I really want to actually, maybe we'll put together some prizes for you guys too, because I really want you guys to participate in this. This is super important, and it's going to help you guys, So yeah, put together a customer profile on who your ideal customer is. What's their pain points? Who are what where do they stay? Where do they live? What type of things are they interested in? What are they buying points? What moves them to buy anything, right? And put that profile together, and I think that's going to really help you guys. Again, man, I thank you guys for another successful brainstorming session. Definitely follow our special guests. Follow us on Mastering Our Business on all social media platforms. And check out our website, man, at www.masteringOurbusiness.com. Man, until next time, I'll see you guys later.